The rap game is a jungle, where loyalty don't live long and trust fades faster than fame. Everybody smiles in public, but behind the scenes, it's betrayal, strategy, and fear dressed up as friendship. And right now, one of the biggest names in hip-hop, Lil Baby, is learning that the hard way. A few years ago, Baby and Lil Durk were unstoppable, voice of the heroes, platinum plaques, brotherhood goals. They stood together when the world was split. But time changes everything, and power always exposes the truth. Because while Durk was fighting battles in court and in the streets, Baby started moving differently. Quietly, liking certain posts, making subtle moves. And then the internet noticed the same Lil Baby who once distanced himself from NBA YoungBoy was now showing love again. Fans went wild. The streets said he switched sides. And in hip-hop, switching sides ain't just disrespect, it's dangerous. This story isn't about rumors or petty likes. It's about loyalty, betrayal, and how fame turns friends into chess pieces. So let's break it down: the rise, the brotherhood, the betrayal, and the silent war that's got the whole culture watching every move. Because in this game, loyalty ain't what it used to be. And once you switch sides, there's no going back. Before the drama, before the diss songs and unfollows, there was respect. Lil Baby and NBA YoungBoy were two young kings coming out of the mud, both self-made, both relentless. They weren't industry plants. They were proof that talent and grind could beat the system. Back in 2018 to 2019, when Baby dropped harder than ever and YoungBoy was flooding YouTube with raw, pain-filled music, the energy between them was real. They linked up on tracks that hit hard because they lived that pain. One Shot wasn't just a song, it was a code. Two hustlers speaking the same language of struggle, loss, and ambition. They weren't hanging out for clout. They genuinely respected each other. Both young fathers. Both dealing with the pressures of fame and street ties. It was like watching two forces from different corners of the South connect. Atlanta meets Baton Rouge. Hunger meets hunger. But the higher you climb, the more enemies you attract. And in this industry, every move gets politicized. Managers whisper. Labels strategize. Publicists control narratives. Lil Baby was stepping into global fame, endorsements, top chart features, Hollywood events. YoungBoy? He was becoming the most streamed artist on YouTube, but also the most controversial. Arrests, house arrests, beefs, and headlines that scared sponsors away. That's when the quiet distance started. Not a fallout, just silence. Baby's camp stopped mentioning YoungBoy. Their communication dried up. It wasn't hate, it was caution. Because in the music world, one bad association can cost millions. Still, fans noticed. The chemistry that once looked unbreakable started fading. And just when people began wondering why they never collabed again, tragedy struck the culture, the night that drew an invisible line in hip-hop forever. November 2020. A night that changed everything. King Von, Lil Durk's protege, his brother in arms, was shot and killed outside a hookah lounge in Atlanta. The entire rap world froze. One moment, it was just another night in the city. The next, a young star was gone. And almost instantly, fingers started pointing to Quando Rondo's crew, connected to NBA YoungBoy. It didn't matter whether YoungBoy ordered it or not. In the court of public opinion, association was enough. And the industry decided there would be sides. Durk was grieving and furious. His loyalty to Von demanded revenge, at least symbolically. So he went all in, channeling pain into music. The voice became a movement, not just an album. Meanwhile, rappers who loved both Durk and YoungBoy found themselves trapped. Neutrality was no longer allowed. You were either OTF or you were with YoungBoy's camp. No middle ground. That's when Lil Baby made a choice that still haunts him today. He stood with Durk, collaborated on Voice of the Heroes, appeared side by side in videos, lyrics full of brotherhood and loyalty. It looked solid. Two top rappers uniting for the culture. But behind the scenes, YoungBoy took note. He saw Baby's silence, Baby's alliances, Baby's features. And for a man who values loyalty above all else, that silence felt like betrayal. From that moment, the tension became unspoken but powerful. YoungBoy never said Baby's name, but his music dripped with resentment. Lines about fake friends, about industry snakes, the message was clear. And for Baby, choosing sides meant reaping the benefits. Street respect, Durk's fan base, more collabs, more love. But the thing about street loyalty is it comes with a price. Once you pick a side, you can't cross back. Or at least, that's what the streets say. After Vaughn's death, YoungBoy became the villain of hip-hop. Labels stopped pushing him. Artists quietly avoided him. Even though no evidence tied him directly, the narrative stuck. He was the problem. But what nobody expected was how hard YoungBoy would fight back. Instead of apologizing or playing politics, he doubled down. He dropped Sincerely, Control from house arrest, and still went #1, proving the system couldn't silence him. Yet the industry isolation hit deep. He saw the fake smiles, the sudden distance, the selective loyalty. That's when he snapped emotionally, creatively, spiritually. He released I Hate YoungBoy, not just a song, but a manifesto. He called out Lil Baby, Gucci Mane, Boozy, and anyone who stood beside Durk. No more coded lines, he said names. To the streets, it was legendary. To the industry, it was suicide. But YoungBoy didn't care. He never played for acceptance. He played for truth. Meanwhile, Baby stayed quiet. No response, no explanation, just business as usual. New features, radio hits, tours. The image of a man untouched by the storm. But silence can be loud. Every time he avoided the topic, fans interpreted it as guilt. The streets said he switched. The fans said he folded. And the truth? Baby had outgrown the trenches mentally, but the streets never let you leave clean. His business move had emotional consequences. He gained industry love but lost street credibility. And that's the worst kind of trade-off for someone who built their name on being real. YoungBoy, meanwhile, kept growing stronger, alone but respected. His independence became his power. And Baby's silence? It became a shadow that followed him everywhere. Fast forward to now, and everything has changed again. Durk's empire, the OTF brand, the clean image is shaking. Federal investigations, street rumors, legal pressure, the walls are closing in. Durk's trying to keep the image alive, but the streets whisper louder than PR. Old footage, witness leaks, courtroom rumors, all adding fuel to a fire he can't control. And that's when the internet noticed something strange. Lil Baby, who'd been silent for months, suddenly started liking NBA YoungBoy's posts. One like, then another. Then fans started noticing comments under mutual associates. Was it random? Or was he testing the waters? To some, it looked like maturity. To others, it looked like desperation. Because as Durk's world grew darker, Baby seemed to be searching for light, even if it meant reconnecting with the man he once turned his back on. But in hip-hop, perception is everything. To the fans, this wasn't maturity, it was betrayal. The same Lil Baby who preached loyalty was now cozying up to the enemy when things got rough. And YoungBoy? He didn't say a word. He just smiled, letting the silence do the talking. Because in this game, nothing hurts more than watching someone who left you now trying to come back when they need you. The narrative flipped overnight. Lil Baby, once the hero of loyalty now, looked like the opportunist. Durk looked betrayed. YoungBoy looked vindicated. The internet ran wild, memes, clips, accusations. Baby switched sides. He's fake. He's scared. And maybe, deep down, Baby realized once you cross that loyalty line, even if you mean well, you can't come back the same. The trust? Gone. The respect? Fading. The love? Conditional. That's the cost of survival in an industry built on betrayal. At its core, this whole situation exposes the sickness in modern hip-hop. The music is still fire, but the principles? They're dead. Loyalty used to mean standing with your people through thick and thin. Now it means standing with whoever's trending. Durk, Baby, YoungBoy, three kings in different positions, all trapped in the same game. Durk fights legal demons, Baby fights perception, YoungBoy fights isolation. And the fans? They're the jury. They decide who's real and who's fake, often without knowing the full story. Maybe Baby's moves aren't about betrayal. Maybe they're about peace. Maybe he's tired of watching death follow every argument, every ego war. Maybe he just wants out of the cycle. But the problem is, when your brand is built on being real, peace looks like weakness. Silence looks like guilt. Forgiveness looks like fear. That's why this story hits deeper than gossip. It's a reflection of the pressure every artist faces. Stay true or stay alive. Because being real can get you killed, but being fake can get you forgotten. YoungBoy chose truth, even if it made him the villain. Durk chose loyalty, even if it put him in danger. And Baby? He chose survival. But survival comes with consequences. Every like, every post, every move gets judged under the microscope of loyalty. And in the eyes of the streets, once you switch sides, there's no reset button. Still, maybe, just maybe, Baby's trying to break free from a system that feeds off division. Maybe he's trying to end the cycle that's taken too many young legends too soon. But whether the streets will forgive him, that's another story. So what do you think? Did Lil Baby really switch sides, or is he just tired of the fake loyalty the industry feeds us? Because one thing's for sure, in this game, nothing stays secret for long. Today's ally can become tomorrow's enemy, and one social media move can rewrite your legacy overnight. Lil Durk's facing pressure. YoungBoy's reclaiming his power. And Lil Baby? He's standing at a crossroads between business and brotherhood, fame and respect. The fans will decide how this chapter ends, but history never forgets who stayed solid when the world was watching. In the end, loyalty ain't about words, it's about consistency when nobody's watching. And right now, the streets are watching closer than ever. Real recognize real. And fake? Fake always folds eventually. No cap.